welcome to For the Love of Nature, a podcast where we tell you everything you need to know about nature and probably more than you wanted to know.
Today we're doing Ding Ding, Could You Fight That?
Which sounds so awful, but we promise you guys, we're not going to talk about us going out picking fights with animals. We're just going to talk about how if they picked a fight with us, we could end it.
How we could finish it. Oh, goodness. I'm so excited. So if you guys...
No PETA or Humane Society coming after us.
But I mean, we've already done Could You Ride That? And what was the other one? Could You Be That?
Yeah.
So this is the same one, part of that series. It's just, Could You Fight That? So this should be good.
Yeah, I'm ready to see what you think you can take on.
Listen, I text a friend and a listener, avid listener, to get ideas and did not disappoint whatsoever. And then from my 5.5-year-old, not only did Luke pick animals for me, he was very specific about how I should fight them.
That's amazing. I can't wait to hear yours, only so that I can hear their insights into these things.
Listen, Luke was so specific.
Let's do this.
Could you fight that? I really should have prepped like a ding ding, like a fight bell.
Yeah.
Bing bing. Alrighty. My first animal that I know I could survive a fight with, bluefin tuna.
Oh my gosh.
So, hear me out. All right, facts. Bluefin tuna are found all around the world's oceans. They can live up to 40 years old and hella big.
Right. Because you've already... Okay, I was going to say, you've already ridden this animal.
I did. Well, I've ridden this animal. I have. In theory, I've ridden this animal too. Tuna are very aggressive, and they will take over territory that other fish have been feeding from. So, they will move in as a group, and if they can't even see that they have an upper hand in the situation, they will take over with their speed and size. So most of the time, other types of fish have no choice but to seek shelter and food elsewhere if they want to survive. If I were to live in the ocean, I guess free diving for sustenance, and I become queen of the area, I could be seen as having the upper hand to a tuna, which means the bluefin tuna, which weighs up to 1,500 pounds and anywhere from 6 feet to 10 feet in length, which is definitely sizably larger than I am, 5'1" and 115 pounds. I mean, it wouldn't take all that much if I'm in the water and I could just and if a tuna had me cornered by mistake, of course.
Cornered in the ocean.
Yeah. I mean, against a boat or something.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go into too much natural history because, just go back and listen to the Could You Ride That episode. But anyway, cornered in the ocean by mistake against a boat or a dock if it decides to go that close into land. If it was a survival aspect, which this is, I've already determined in a previous episode that I could definitely ride it. So 1, I would either ride it, or 2, I feel like I could just curl up in a tiny ball and just survive it and float in the water and just take it. That would be my anything in the water, just tuck and float. Just tuck and float. That needs to be on a t-shirt that Josh can make.
In someone in a little fetal position, but surrounded by sharks.
Tuck and float.
Tuck and float.
Tuck and float. So, bluefin tuna, first animal I could fight because I would either ride it again or tuck and float.
Excellent. I chose nothing in the water because I don't believe I could take on anything in that environment.
I thought you were going to say I don't believe in water. And I was like, what?
Okay, let me start off with some of the... I'll get more and more extreme, I think. Okay, let's do...
Mine jump around. Okay. I go from the ones that the first several that my friend sent in, and then it goes into Luke's. So it gets from funny to the shit Luke wants me to beat up.
Okay, well, so my first one is the trumpeter swan.
Such a good one.
I know.
I would totally beat up a trumpeter swan.
Right. Also, even the fact that that's a childhood book of the trumpeter swan. Anyway, I would beat it up. No. Real quick natural history. It is the largest of the swan species, which is why I chose it. They have an 8-foot wingspan and weigh up to 30 pounds. So no joke of a waterfowl.
And they're assholes. That's the biggest problem. Continue.
They're native to Canada and the United States, and they live in wetlands, open woods, and prairies. So, swan attacks. Swans are very territorial and protective of their nests. That's a great way to spin it. As Katy said, they're just dicks. It's the male's job to defend the nest and the female while she's on the eggs. Most likely scenario would be me walking around a pond, minding my own business, but I end up getting too close to a nest.
Just herping. Yeah.
Getting too close to a nest, and bam, daddy's on me. Again, didn't think about it till I said it.
Continue.
So, swans are no joke. They are powerful birds. They use their wings, beaks, and even feet when attacking or defending.
And
They're
it hurts. It hurts.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It
I have been smacked by a swan. And I have seen them kill other animals. They can kill smaller animals.
Yes.
And they've actually killed a person once before that I found. Yep, by drowning. Which is a horrible way to go. This poor man
swan.
was kayaking and drowned by swans.
Dang.
Like, he fell out. Like, I don't know if he just upset himself or whatever,
probably.
but they wouldn't let him. They wouldn't let him surface.
Yeah, he probably tipped himself over, and then he's trying to get back in the kayak and upright himself, and then they probably just like attacked.
Which is insane.
Yeah, man, what a way to go.
I know. Definitely, if I ever go in some bizarro way like that, you have to make sure it's on my tombstone so that people can be like, what? Killed by swans? Right? So on the land, there's two ways this could happen.
One second. I had was it my English teacher, my 8th grade English teacher, that he always told us that whenever he starts to get to the age where he's going to be too old, he wants to die by tobogganing down Mount Everest. And I have never forgotten that, of how amazing of a way that would be. If you're going to die, I mean, might as well do something so absurdly epic. Yeah. Tobogganing down Mount Everest, right? Continue. With your little tassel cap on, goggles, just passage.
Anciently old.
Yeah. What is that? Just like a snowdrift, like flying down the mountain.
Little icicles on their old man eyebrows. Anyway, so there's two places the attack could happen, on land or the water. On land, I would grab a branch, broom, or some other long object to keep the swan at a distance to avoid getting thumped by their wings, because it freaking hurts. While I backed away.
And that already shows our differences, because go ahead, just continue. I'll say it here in a little bit.
If I didn't have anything at hand, I would use my legs. I would kick that swan.
Yeah.
And in the water would be terrifying.
Yeah, that would be scary.
Again, I would try and grab something to try and keep it away. Or I would try and dive down, swim as far as I could, and then surface quickly. Like, maybe it wouldn't know where I was going to surface. Maybe.
And see, I think I say this later on. I am completely... I feel like your response is more flight, where mine is more fight.
Yeah. Well, it would depend on the animal, I think.
Okay. Because if I was in that situation, I would totally grab that thing by the neck and drown it. If I was in the water, grab its head, pull it down.
If it's near the swan, it's definitely going to be the swan.
But remember whenever we were kids, did you have swim class as a kid? Like in gym? So we had a pool, and they had to teach us to survive, where they, like, you take off your pants, you flop it over your head, and make a flotation device. Did you ever learn to do that?
Okay, no.
So, because I grew up in Western Pennsylvania, where we have rivers and stuff like that, we had to do these drills where you have a bathing suit on, you put clothes on, and they make you all jump in the pool, and then you have to take everything off.
That's cool.
And to survive, and so to float. And so you take your pants off, you tie the legs together, flop them over your head, and you have to tread water, and then pull them down over your head, catches enough air, and then you spin the bottom, and then you can put the tied legs around your head, like around your neck, and then just hold on to it. It's a flotation device. So take that picture, and that's what I would do with the swan. Pull its head down under the water, grab it with my legs,
and use it as a flotation device.
Use it as a flotation device until it drowns.
That's amazing. I have taken care of swans before, and it was always a race between if I could dump their food in their bowl before the dad could get to me.
Yeah.
I hated them so much.
Jerks.
So yeah, that's how I would outlive a swan if I could.
Man, that was a good one. That was a great first one, for sure. Alrighty. My second, shoebill stork.
Ooh.
Now, if you've listened to any of our previous episodes, you know I have a weird thing against animals that I can look eye to eye with. It can be shorter than me, of course, and it can be way bigger than me, no problem. Eye to eye, especially birds, I have a very healthy fear of it.
At
Can't
least its
do it.
beak isn't like a marabou stork.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
So, the listener, my friend who sent this to me, knows that I hate looking eye to eye with birds. That's why they send it, because this bird is 5 foot tall.
Yeah.
I'm 5'1". I have a healthy inch over
And they're
it.
terrifying looking.
Also, if you look up shoebill stork, what would you call it? Like a beak smack or something?
Clacking.
It sounds like a machine gun. Like, because it's...
Yeah.
But it's thumping, so it totally sounds like a machine gun. Anyway. All right. If you haven't seen a shoebill stork, Google it, because they do... Man, it's just a level of displeasure.
Creepy.
Yeah, they have such a level of displeasure. It's top notch. It constantly looks like it's ticked off at the world, but in dinosaur form, essentially.
Yeah.
Are they aggressive? I don't think I said where it's from. Africa. I don't think I really said that. No. So they live in Africa. But anyway. And they do eat meat occasionally. 5 foot tall. I think it's like a 7 foot, 8 foot wingspan. They're like a big bird. They're a big bird.
Yeah.
And they're just very prehistoric looking. So are they aggressive? A resounding yes. First off, baby storks show no mercy. They will attack each other, pushing the smaller storks out of the nest.
Siblicide.
Yep. So I'm not a baby bird, so I'm safe there. But they are also known to attack Nile crocodiles.
What?
Yes, which I did not know that, right? This bird has a heck of an aggressive streak, because what bird would attack a crocodile?
One who is a death wish.
Right? Yeah, so definitely has a death wish. And they will decapitate their prey before eating it, because their beaks are so strong and so heavy. To think of the strength of the beak itself, you can compare it to the strength of a wooden clog. And I don't know how many avid cloggers we have out there, but the Dutch make them tough. So if it's as strong as a wooden clog, it's going to do damage.
Yeah, so it's not a piercer, it's a crusher.
It's a crusher, for sure. And it is, you know how thick a clog is.
Yeah.
Again, for all of our avid cloggers out there, let me know what you think. But anyway, so how would I fight it? So most of it is by its beak, decapitating, it chomps it. It will kick. And just like most birds, like you said with the trumpeter swan, it'll kick, it'll do whatever it can. And I mean, most of the time, because it's a bird, it's going to fly away. Fight or flight, it takes flight every time if it can. But if for some reason it was really pissed off at me, one, punch it square in its clog's face mug.
Yep.
Then break its legs.
Oh. Like, just sweep them.
Just sweep it at the legs. Because bird bones are hollow, essentially.
Oh, jeez.
So again, this is I'm like, I feel like I went way more aggressive than what
you did. I don't think I killed a single animal in mine.
I didn't say I would kill it yet. I just said...
you drowned the swan.
Yeah, true. And the shoebill stork break its legs. So it may be able to fly away, but it clearly can't run away at this point. So then I would be able to run away. Done. All right, shoebill stork.
Oh, man. Okay. Okay, so my next one, I was laughing really hard at because it's the bobcat.
Ooh.
It's the largest cat I think I could take on.
I was going to say, I knew there would be a cat in here somewhere, but I just didn't know which one you would pick.
I was like, there's no way I could do a mountain lion. I would like to think that I could, but no. And even the bobcat's pushing it. But, so, little natural history.
They're kind of puntable.
A little bit, for sure. So they look a bit like a large tabby house cat, except that they have a bobbed tail, which means short, tufted ears, and a facial ruff, which is like lots of fur around their face. They're 1 to 2 feet at the shoulder and up to 33 pounds. Native to Canada, US, and Mexico, and they're carnivores. So, how do bobcats attack? They stalk their prey, and they can eat things, and they will try and eat things up to the size of a small deer, which is pretty incredible considering that they're not very big.
Well, and that's what I was going to say about the mountain lion. The only reason why I don't think that, I mean, they are fierce, but I don't think you would be able to fight a mountain lion just because you would not hear it coming.
Yeah. Just
you know what I mean? Like
attack.
that's, yeah. Continue.
So it's highly unlikely I would ever be stalked by a bobcat, but probably if I got too close to kittens, Mom would take me on. Also, this past year, a rabid bobcat did attack a woman in North Carolina, and her husband had to fend it off.
Oh, yeah, the one that
I was
chucked
gonna say,
it.
if you have not seen this video, you
I forgot
must.
about that.
I did too until I had already chosen Bobcat. Then I remembered this, and I was like, yes, that's how you defeat a Bobcat.
I laughed so hard because he yeeted that thing so
and
far.
That's the best thing.
Oh my gosh.
So since that badass husband was successful in his bout with a Bobcat, I'm going to go with his strategy. So as the Bobcat is attacking, he grabs it with both hands, holds it up, and yeets it across the front yard.
And when we say yeet, I mean yeet.
Throws it. All of his adrenaline must be up.
It's such a hardcore throw. It's amazing.
And the fact that he's holding, like, I don't know how many of you have ever held a pissed off cat, but
it's hard.
No joke. Yeah. So he is holding a giant pissed off cat and then throws it across the front yard. It is incredible.
I forgot
what an amazing husband.
Because they caught it on, like, their Ring doorbell, which makes it even more amazing because it's completely unexpected.
Yeah, and he's just, like, talking to himself in the morning with his coffee, and then all of a sudden there's a Bobcat attack. Like, it's so nuts. So getting it with both hands would be really tricky, but I would try my best. Get it on the scruff, get it wherever I could, try and avoid the nails. In this encounter, I would certainly sustain significant damage. For sure. Oh, yeah. There's no way you would walk away from a Bobcat attack.
Yeah, it's a cat.
I have been wrecked by a kitten before.
Yeah.
Like when I tried to get a feral kitten once. Dang. I got
they're
torn
nasty.
But I would be sure to guard my neck because that's what they go for. So as long as I kept my chin down.
Do you still think even because you're the size that you are, a Bobcat would still go for your neck? Or do you think it would just go for your face?
I think it would just go wherever it could. Like a rat, it's because it would be like such a freak thing to happen.
Yeah.
But I would be really paranoid about it.
Yeah, because I don't know if because we're so much bigger than Bobcats.
We're not prey.
If they would have the instinct to go for our necks. Or if it would just be like, I gotta attack this thing so it drops me. Right. And not yeet me across the yard.
Yeah. And I just wouldn't want like an accidental neck slash.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I'm gonna tuck the chin and then yeet that Bobcat.
Tuck the chin, yeet that thing.
It's like in Miss Congeniality when she's explaining the steps of how to defend yourself. Oh my gosh, yes. This is how to defend yourself from Bobcat. Tuck the chin and yeet.
Oh, goodness.
All right, next.
That's a good one. All right, third. I know we didn't say we were going to do throwaways, and this isn't a throwaway, so just hear me out.
Okay.
Emperor penguin. All right.
They're huge.
They are big. Anyone that has worked with penguins, just like a trumpeter swan, knows that they're jerks 90% of the time, if not more. So these carnivorous birds, which are about 4 feet or so tall, live in Antarctica, even though they look like a weeble wobble or one of those like punching bags that come back up after you punch it, they definitely won't. However, they do pack one heck of a bite. Speaking from experience, it sucks to get bit by a penguin because they're relentless and they just keep biting you again. And I've had like wallops of bruises from stupid
they have a serrated beak. They bite, they twist, and they rip.
And it sucks so bad.
And those were small penguins that we were working with.
Yes.
Not a 4-foot penguin.
Not a 4-foot penguin.
Dude, that would that's just, no.
So, and I found several websites that state that penguins aren't aggressive, which is bullshit. Those people clearly are not around penguins. And maybe emperor penguins aren't as aggressive because there's no people. There's no people, there's no predators down where they are, so they're just kind of a little bit more chill. But let's just say that this emperor penguin was mad or attacking me. Yeah. Could I take on one penguin? I believe so. But a group of them, which
you're right.
A group
terrifying.
A group on land is called a waddle, and in the water, it's called a raft. So, one, I definitely think I could take on. But imagine, because they go in, like, hundreds and thousands. Could you imagine if they, I don't know what you would have to do to piss off that many penguins. But that would suck.
Dude.
And wouldn't it?
Death by 1,000 cuts is what it would be.
Right.
But death by 1,000 penguin bites.
Would suck.
Yes.
So, how would I fend it off? Go with me here. Have you ever been a kid and your brother is being good start. Good start. And your sibling is just beating the crap out of you and you just start blindly swinging?
Yeah, only I usually was a leg person.
Yeah, okay, so you were kick. So just blindly swinging, almost like arms out, spinning, just punching as many penguins as you can, and then just like hightail it out of there. Punch, kick, run.
And then no belly slide, because you'll probably be in the snow.
Yeah, right? Yeah, and then belly slide.
Punch, kick, and belly slide.
We just need to make a step-by-step guide of animal survival.
All these animals, yes. With infographics.
Yeah.
Because that's...
Punch, kick,
Punch,
belly
kick,
slide.
belly slide.
Yeah. So this one I would more or less run away from because penguins, okay, unless their necks are completely stretched out, which if you've never stretched out a penguin's neck before, which
no, most people have not.
Most people have not. Their necks are freakishly long.
Yeah.
Like even the little ones, because remember, like we had the jackass penguins, the African black-footed penguins. And you can hold one on one, because you have to, for like injections and stuff. We weren't just like stretching penguin necks for no reason. For injections in their necks, for shots, whatever, blood samples, you tuck in under one arm and then you stretch their necks across your body. And it literally stretches the whole way across your body. I mean, like their necks are freakishly long, but they never stretch it out that long unless they're like hunting in the
Stabbing
water.
for a fish, yeah.
Yeah. And so to fight it on land, like it would be so hard to just like kill one because like unless you would have to like grab it by the beak and then like the facial expression because I started motioning what I was gonna do and the look of horror. The look of horror on Laura's face. That's the silence you heard. Because
are you gonna snap? Our listeners, Katie, I don't know how much they can take.
I'm so glad you have headphones on and your poor sweet baby isn't hearing any of this. But you would have to pull its beak out and then like
karate chop,
like push down on the back of its skull.
See,
to, like,
you're
snap
thinking,
its neck.
okay, I guess I'll be the creeper on here. You're talking how hard it'd be to kill it. And I was immediately thinking, yeah, because they've got so much blubber, so it'd be really hard to stab.
No, it would be hard. But that's the only way you could do it because it's like it's picking up like a football. Like how would you kill a football? Like there's no way to like you know what I mean? Like you just run.
Just run.
Like so that would be the only way that you could feel. Other than that, I would punch, kick, belly slide.
Nice.
And for penguin.
Okay. My next one, I don't know if everyone knows what they are, but they're called doll sheep, DALL.
Oh, yep.
It's like the bighorn sheep, essentially, but they're white. So they are native to the mountains of Alaska and Canada, often confused with mountain goats, but they are different. They're off-white in color, and they have way bigger horns than mountain goats. Both males and females have horns, and they have the largest horns in comparison to size of any ruminant, which is like a four-chambered stomach animal, any goat, deer, blah, blah, blah. So 3 feet at the shoulder and up to 180 pounds. Although I did see some things where it says that males could maybe get 300, which would be nuts. So anyway, males are known to characteristically clash horns.
How do we not ride these things?
I know. I did ride a goat, but not the doll sheep.
That's right. You did.
So males characteristically clash their horns, but it's actually usually not over females, but to establish order, which I think is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But most fights do happen near the rut, which is when they are mating.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Their relatives, the big doll sheep, I couldn't find any attacks, but their relatives, bighorn sheep, they have been known to attack humans.
Oh, heck yeah.
Not commonly, but I mean, it can happen.
Yeah.
And so imagine, like the Dodge Ram symbol coming at you.
Yeah.
So as long as I can avoid the horns, I should be fine. Because that's all where it is. It would charge me, and I just have to avoid the head. So time it, sidestep. Okay. So once I sidestep, I would grab the horns.
Yes.
And then redirect the inertia, forcing the ram either to the ground or like into a nearby object. So
or just ride it, dude.
Yeah,
Tame it.
that too.
Ride it, tame it.
Grab the horns and ride it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would either force that ram to the ground with its own inertia or make it smash itself into something else as I ran.
That would make sense.
So it would all be timing. Timing, sidestep. Sidestep, grab horns. Throw.
Yeah, I guess you did. What was the name? Do you remember the sheet that you wrote?
Because I thought about doing it for this one, but then I was like, nah, I wanted something with different horns. It was the Markhor.
Yeah, Markhor, that's what it was. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Alrighty. You ready for my next one?
I hope so.
This is the one that I really genuinely thought that you were going to pick.
Okay.
The Garanuk. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, that freaky long neck.
Yes. So here we go. All right. So I know I'm going to keep saying this, but if you've never seen a picture of a Garanuk, please look it up now. They are by far the dumbest looking animals on the face of the planet. So they're like a gazelle-esque animal. They're, antelopes that are found in Africa, but definitely stand out from the rest because it has a stupidly long neck that assists in grazing.
It's like if a giraffe and an antelope had a baby.
Pretty much. Interestingly enough, too, when they do graze, they go up, they reach with their really long neck, and then they actually use their front legs and hooves to grab branches, which is definitely strange.
Freaky.
For an antelope. But anyway, all right, so how would I fight it? Because they do get pretty aggressive, and the males do have, like long, sharp horns. So again, it would have to be same thing as yours, sidestep it, okay? And then once I do, grab it by its neck, and then just like...
Yes.
And I could not stop laughing at that image of, like, how long its neck is.
Yeah.
That you would just need to grab anywhere.
Yeah,
and just grab it and then shake it.
It'd be like a cartoon.
Because I'm picturing, like, tongue out, like, so aggressive shaking, like, tongue out, and it sounds like its tiny brain just in there, like, rattling around like marbles of just,
it's either that or you sidestep and clothesline it. Like with your arm.
I'm gonna shake it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna strangle it and shake it. Mostly because I want to hear it go. Because I'm pretty sure that's the sound it would make from how stupid these things look.
Yeah.
Because I could just, because they have big bug eyes even. I mean, people look it up. It's Gerenuk.
Dang.
This is definitely another one that they are very lanky and they're big, but they're not all that big that you could probably overpower it.
They look so frail.
They do look very frail. But definitely just strangling the crap out of that would be really funny. Yeah. That needs to be in some cartoon, though, because it would be hilarious.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know how you brought back bluefin tuna? I'm bringing back the wolverine.
Oh, very nice.
This one also, I was like, do I really think I could? Yeah, I think I could.
I think you could.
If you listen to our Could You Be That episode, you probably remember me saying that I would choose to be a wolverine if I lived in colder climates. So, natural history, native to the boreal zone of the northern hemisphere, largest and most badass of the weasel family, weigh up to 40 pounds, and they're a little taller than like your knee, known to be incredibly fierce and can bring down prey 5 times larger than themselves. So, attacking. I think an attack would most likely occur. There has never been a report of a wolverine attack, which I thought was pretty surprising.
Really? Yeah, you would think it would be something.
Maybe it's too remote, or I don't know.
Maybe.
I think an attack would most likely occur if I startled it while it was feeding and it felt cornered. So I could be the first.
You could be the first. I'm on it.
They have really sharp teeth, very strong jaws, sharp claws. So, as I said in a previous episode, they will scare bigger animals off of kills like wolves, mountain lions, and black bears. So if they think they can take them on, it's going to be a fight.
It is, yeah.
So I feel like I would get absolutely wrecked in this fight. I just would survive it.
I think you would. Yeah.
Because I just imagine the wolverines would fight with no holding back.
Like, I don't think, there's no way that
it would be like fighting like a whirlwind of teeth and claws, just going for
Hugh
it.
Jackman Wolverine.
Right, yeah.
Which either one of us would be willing. No, never mind.
Yeah. So, again, I'm always going to try and grab the nearest tool to beat it off like a club. Like,
oh, heck yeah. Especially a Wolverine, I would definitely be scrambling for something to hit it with.
Because otherwise it's on you and you're getting torn up. So I would want it at least as a barrier, if not as a club. And if I had to, I would just like
take off your shoe.
Take off a shirt, a shoe, anything to keep it between me and it.
Yeah.
And I just have to unleash my inner beast and defend myself as crazily as that Wolverine was attacking me.
I will say, and I don't know if you felt this way yet. Once I became a mom, I feel like you gain like an extra power boost. Like, women are pretty ferocious anyway.
Yeah.
But I feel like once I became a mom, there's like an extra, like, you just leveled up. As far as like your fight for survival of badassery, that I feel like that instinct for me is way stronger because I have a kid.
I'm sure, like, it hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure as soon as I would feel that she was threatened, that's when I'll know. Yeah.
And even if, like, I feel threatened, like, I need to keep myself around because of my son.
Yeah, yeah. Then Wolverine's going down.
Yeah,
so could I get it to back down? Probably, but I would take significant damage.
Yeah, you would. Man, that would suck. Alrighty. Up next, Western Gray Kangaroo.
Ooh, that's balls. I mean, okay.
And I specifically chose the Western Gray because it's not the biggest. No, it's not the smallest. No, because I would have chose like a wallaby or something.
Right, but definitely not the biggest.
Not the biggest. A medium size of the roos.
I have seen a grown man taken down by a red kangaroo.
Oh my! And red kangaroos are freaking huge.
Yeah,
like
it snuck up behind him, punched him in the back of the head, and took him to the ground.
That's so funny.
Like,
I mean, not for the guy, but
no, I know.
I'd love to see it.
We had to go in like with shovels and rakes, to keep it away from. Like, he felt threatened. I guess he thought he was going to take his ladies.
Yeah, they're brutal. So if you know me, you know I love kangaroos by default of it being an Australian animal. While the Western Gray Kangaroo is not the biggest kangaroo in Australia, another reason why I chose it, like I said, it is still freaking a huge animal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Males weigh up to 121 pounds, whereas females weigh about 60. They are approximately 6.5 feet from nose to tail and between 6 and 7 feet tall. If they're like fully standing up, which most of the time they're not fully standing up anyway. Okay, so given the name Western Grey Kangaroo, they live in southwestern Australia. So fighting it, I mean, for me, that's a tough call, but my son really wanted me to fight a kangaroo because, to quote him, "Mom, listen, you could totally fight a kangaroo," is what he said. So he has a lot of faith in me. When I asked him how, he said, "First, try to punch it. If you miss, then you need to duck." Which,
so he's just teaching you how to box.
Pretty much. Which, if I was to fight a human, that is superior fighting skills for a 5.5-year-old. But then, I mean, he is a public school kid, and he's been in daycare his whole life, so he's
how to defend himself.
He knows how to defend himself in like baby fight club. But if I were to punch and then duck for a kangaroo.
Right into its feet.
Right? Yeah. Right into its feet. Which would be so funny. Like, punch, duck, bam.
Yeah.
Alright. But a kangaroo is sizable. I definitely think out of all the animals, I would be the most evenly matched with this one. Out of all the ones I picked, this would be the hardest because it is aggressively enough to go after you. You know what I mean? Like where most animals are going to choose flight. This one will keep coming after you. So I think if I'm conscious of its feet, I could totally take it down.
Yeah, like, if you watched all parts of it,
yeah. Because it would be, and I mean, they literally used to fight kangaroos.
I think if you jump it, like I think if you could jump, like get more of your weight on top.
Yes, and then beat the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Kick it. I think I could I could do enough damage to it because it is big, but I mean the male it only weighs a little bit. So male's coming in at 121 pounds. I'm like 115, and so it is a little bit bigger than me, but not by much. But a female only weighs 60 pounds. That's the size of my dog. Right. Like I could totally take that. So Western Gray Kangaroo, I definitely think not gonna probably take Luke's advice where I try to punch and then duck because that would be bad. But Luke's fighting advice does get better.
Oh, good.
Oh, it gets good.
All right. I'm going to go down and skip down to the raccoon.
Oh.
Which, I know what everyone's thinking. Laura, raccoons aren't even that big, and they're so cute with their little masks and hands.
I immediately go to, like, Ranger Rick with, like, you know what I mean? Like, with the one in Ranger Rick with, like, that, with the ranger hat on from the magazines when we were kids.
So cute. So, yes, all true. Small, cute hands, yeah. But raccoons can be fierce, and they're a common rabies vector species. So that means they carry rabies.
Fear the rabies.
Yeah. So they are not to be messed with. So raccoon natural history, they can reach up to 40 pounds, with the occasional male being weighing in at 60. Okay?
Wow.
That's like Wolverine size. Okay?
Yeah.
A 40-pound raccoon is mind-blowing. That is heavier than a bobcat.
Yeah, that's a freaking big raccoon.
They prefer to live in forests, but have adapted to urban habitats. They're omnivores, and they're very intelligent. So, the attack. Picture the scene in Elf, when he wants to give that raccoon a hug.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about it. That's
immediately what I thought of.
Yeah.
So, raccoons will attack if threatened or sick. So, besides rabies, I didn't know this, they can also carry canine distemper and feline parvovirus.
I knew distemper. I didn't know about parvo.
Yeah, they can get something from dogs and something from cats.
Interesting.
So majority of attacks happen when people try to catch and or keep raccoons as pets. Duh. Okay,
Yeah.
Don't try and pet a wild animal or catch a wild animal.
Did you see that TikTok video I think I sent you of the raccoon in pajamas?
I mean, dude, it's my dream to have a raccoon as a pet because it would be amazing.
They put it in like a little like kids like footsie pajamas and it's pushing it in a stroller. And I'm like, as much as I want to say, guys, don't keep wild animals as pets, that is really freaking funny.
Cute.
Yeah. Don't do it, but it is adorable.
So I think I would most likely get attacked by either a rabid raccoon or accidentally start being a mom with kits, like in my own attic. Like I just walk up there and oh crap, like poke through the ceiling.
Yeah, comes at you
like an elf.
Yeah.
So, my defense, I think anybody could easily take on a raccoon. It is super puntable.
Because, like Elf, though, you would immediately be like, oh, come here.
Yeah, take you off guard. Right. I would be like, look, this cute little raccoon. Ah!
Yeah.
But, so, even though totally puntable, I would be so freaked out of making any physical contact with it because of rabies. Because it's probably why it's attacking me.
Exactly.
So, the trick would be to try to fend it off without bodily contact. So, definitely a long stick, or like throwing your shoes at it, or taking off my shirt and throwing my shirt over it like a blanket, so that then I could.
Taking off your shirt in this episode.
I don't know. You have pants. I mean, whatever, man. Survival.
Survival. Take off your shirt, quick. No, Katie, take off your pants. I'm glad we actually know that we could survive. Like, I actually do have really good survival skills. Other than just, like, take off my pants.
Right.
Trust me. I'm really good at survival.
So, I would, take off my shirt, throw it over it, and take off. I'm not touching that raccoon. But, there would be, like, in 2020, my mom, had a raccoon approach her and either accidentally bite her or scratch her. Oh, that's right.
I forgot about that.
It had the fishing hook in its mouth.
Yes, I remember that.
It, like, came walking up to her and rubbed against her pant legs, probably in a desperate cry for help. And it got stuck on her pants. They both rolled down a hill together as my dad is trying to beat it off with a stick. And didn't work.
The poor raccoon is just please, somebody help me. Your mom beats the shit out of it.
It runs away as my mom is crying. Don't hurt it. It's just trying. It's not doing anything. And then she has to go to the hospital for rabies shots because she has a puncture on her leg, either from the raccoon when it was rolling down the hill or the hook. So I think it would be like my mom, where I'd be like, maybe it's just trying to ask for help. Meanwhile, it's a rabid raccoon trying to attack me. So yeah, for sure it would be like the taking me off guard. Look at this cute little raccoon. And then just trying to keep it away from me.
I remember when you messaged me about that because I remember reading it and I was laughing so hard.
Because it's the most random thing in the world.
It is, and I was trying very hard to type out, like, is she okay? But I couldn't stop laughing. I was just like, at the craziness of it. Man.
Yeah. What are the chances?
Yeah.
So yeah, raccoon you could take it on, but don't touch it.
Yeah, alrighty. The next one that I had was actually a duplicate. Laura had it too. And so then Kim gave it to us. So Laura, you can give me your feedback as well. But I had
nice.
the dingo.
The dingo.
So, AKA Dingo Ate Your Baby. Seinfeld. All right. Found throughout every part of Australia, pretty much everywhere in Australia, except for like, I think it was like a small region in southeastern Australia. They're often seen as pests. Dingoes are a basal ancestor of dogs, although their classification is highly debated.
Right, because now they're all like interbred with dogs. And...
Yeah, now they are, yeah, for sure. So who knows what it is running around the street. They're just like feral dog canon species.
Yeah.
So although they aren't domesticated, and whether they were ever domesticated is somewhat debated, they have closely lived by Aborigines for centuries, but they live side by side, and there was just like a healthy distance between the two. So could I fight a dingo? Yes. Unless it's totally rabid. Again, with the raccoon, that's the only reason why I wouldn't take it on. But it really is a medium-sized dog, weighing 40 pounds, give or take. And my dogs at home are bigger than this. And while my dogs aren't rabid, I would treat them like any other dog and just scruff it and take it to the ground.
Yeah.
So I could totally fight a dingo. Even though they're aggressive, I could fight a dingo.
And they're not that big. Like, they're like your size of dogs.
Yeah.
They're not
that
a huge, big. It's not like a wolf. Yeah.
Especially if it took my baby.
Yeah.
I would hold on to that baby. Right on cue, baby gives a little talk there.
Yeah. No, that sounds awful.
No, not the dingoes, Mom, protect me. No, I would totally scruff it and take it to the ground. How are you thinking of fighting it? Just like a dog, like kicking it or whatever?
Yeah. I'd probably kick it. I worked with 2 dingoes at the one zoo, and they were so sweet. And one of them was so timid and scared. It'd be hard to think of them attacking.
As being,
but yeah, they're not that big, and that's why I chose them. So perfect segue for mine, because I also had the dingo, and then I had to change. I was like, well, fine, I'll just choose another canine. So I chose the coyote.
Very nice.
Which is pretty similar. It's just our version of the dingo.
We've had coyotes over here in Texas going after people.
Yes.
Quite often.
Yeah. So, natural history, depending on where you live in the U.S., coyotes can be as large as German shepherds and weigh up to 40 pounds. Like in the West, they're much bigger than they are in the East. They're intelligent omnivores that range all over the U.S., Canada, Mexico, and they live pretty much everywhere. So, although it's pretty rare for a coyote to attack a human, it's not unheard of, and it's becoming more and more common as we're sharing space.
Yeah,
so,
and that's what's happening down here is more and more developments are growing, and so we're going into... And especially around here, a lot of the farmers around the cities and stuff, because I think the most recent ones have been north of Dallas and Frisco, and they're taking out farmland and building housing developments there. And so those coyotes, I almost said those dingoes, those coyotes have been hunting there for, who knows how long. I mean, that's their home range. And then all of a sudden there's houses there, and there's joggers out and about in the morning. And so that's what they've been going after, joggers and cyclists. Yeah.
So I found this amazing study. Somebody did a study on coyote attacks. So I found all this cool data.
Oh, cool.
So according to
cool coyotes attack, but cool you found the data.
So according to one study that looked at, there was 142 coyote attacks over the last 46 years, or when they did the study. The majority were predatory or investigative in nature. Mm-hmm. So most occurred out west, almost half of them in California. Like the vast majority, it's in California.
Interesting.
Predatory was often a child, while investigative was typically adults. 70% happened next to a person's house while they were recreating, like jogging or cycling.
Oh, they were recreating.
That's what it said.
I'm going to go recreate this morning.
Yep. Or if they were sleeping like in a tent or resting.
Okay.
And in 2/3 of the attacks, force wasn't even needed to stop them. So it's not like they were really out to get somebody. But most people are able to scare coyotes off with yelling, running, throwing objects, which of course I would try first. But if that didn't work, I would kick, push, punch, anything I would do for just a wild dog until it left me alone or was on the ground.
I think, that one, I think, same thing with the dingo. Like, scruff it.
Yeah.
Kick it. I think it would be fine. Alrighty. This is another pick from Luke. Aardvark. Alright. So.
They got some serious claws, don't they?
They do. So, also called an ant bear. Aardvarks are found south of the Sahara Desert in Africa. Even though they are called an ant bear, in Afrikaans, aardvark translates to earth pig.
They definitely look more like a pig than a bear.
For sure. Aardvarks are shockingly large, weighing about 145 pounds or upwards of 180.
Whoa.
And they can be over 7 feet long, which is surprisingly big.
I mean, I know it's a tail, but still.
And because of that size, I really should have put Aardvark on the Could You Ride That episode, but I'd never even thought about that.
Me neither. I didn't think they were that big.
So, because if you Google, most of the pictures I found were really small, but I guess in the extreme cases.
Yeah.
Because they were saying about 145 pounds seems to be the average.
Right.
But they have been up to 180 pounds, which is a significantly huge gap. Anyway, huge aardvarks. Are they aggressive? Apparently, even though they just mostly eat ants and termites, yes. Normally, like most animals, they will try to escape first, but if they can't, they definitely will become aggressive. They are burrowing animals, so they will use their sharp claws to try and injure you, or apparently their back legs are also quite powerful, and they will try to kick you. Luke's solution? Kick it back.
Yeah.
Which again, after he gave me the poor advice on ducking to beat up a kangaroo, I was very cautious about what his aardvark advice would be.
Yeah.
But I did find some sources online that say that, this is the most effective way to beat up an aardvark. So the things you can, I was just like, after a while, I just started to Google, like, how would you fight
That's amazing. Yeah, I just looked up, like, that attack. But
no. So other than Luke's advice, I'm honestly not sure, because, like, you could jump it and choke it and hold it, but it's built like a pig.
Yeah.
So it has like a huge neck. You know what I mean?
It would be hard.
So if this was just survivable, I think if it would try to claw me, definitely kick it. Play injured long enough, or just do something, like you said, like grab something nearby.
Maybe climb a tree for that one, because I don't think they can climb.
I don't know. They definitely can't climb, but I mean, I guess depending on where you are.
Yeah.
I could definitely I mean, I could definitely shinny up a tree. Faster than most, so that would not be a problem. But yeah, if no trees around, just run. And I'm definitely not the person who would typically just play dead, because I definitely have a stronger fight response in my brain than flight. Especially if it comes to a freaking aardvark, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But I mean, they are built like tanks. I mean, they're essentially like a pig.
Yeah.
And so it would be hard to like really inflict damage on it effectively.
Yeah, besides maybe its sensitive nose. Like, you just have to go for the kick it.
Just kick it, like Luke said. Just kick it and kick it and run.
Kick it and run. Well, speaking of playing dead, mine is, some people might think that's how you should defend yourself from this next one, but it's not true. So my final one, and the one that is most, I feel like I've been preparing for this one my whole life, and it's the black bear.
Oh, here we go.
Like, could I take on a black bear? This is my most,
Another one, I was like, with the cat, I was like, man, what cat is she going to pick? And I was like, man, is she going to go for a bear? You are.
Yeah, and, only because I really do think that I could. So, natural history, black bears are native to North America, live in forests, mountains, and swamps. They're small. They're one of the smaller of they are the smallest of the North American bears, but can still weigh up to 600 pounds.
Yeah, which is still freaking huge.
Yeah, and 3 feet at the shoulder. So, bear attacks. Although bears are dangerous, there have only been 61 people killed in North America by black bears in the last 121 years.
Okay.
So, you're way more likely to die in other ways.
Yes.
They are less likely to attack than grizzlies because they usually run or climb first. Many attacks are defensive in nature, and those that are fatal are often predatory in remote areas where bears have little contact with humans. Okay. So if you're going to die, it's probably because you're in a remote area and that bear was hunting you.
Yes.
Terrifying.
You were going to be prey, just FYI.
So, like I said, I feel like I've been prepping for a bear fight my whole life because there are bears in the woods near where I live, and so we're always, talking about, what would happen if a bear, So, I also remember being very young, and my mom reading a bear attack story to us out of a Reader's Digest.
Of course your mom would.
Yeah. In which a couple was attacked in their tent. The wife was a quick thinker and swung her binoculars against the bear's muzzle, making it let go of her husband and run away. I think it was probably a grizzly bear, not a black bear, but I will always remember this story and the message to go for the nose. So this technique of hitting the face and muzzle is totally true and is what the National Park Service recommends on their Staying Safe Around Bears website. They also say to not play dead. That's what you do with grizzlies. You do not play dead with black bears, but you're supposed to fight. Well, run or fight.
Interesting.
So if a bear attacked me and I couldn't run away or scare it away, you bet I would fight. I'm not going to just give up. So if I had anything solid on me, if I was hiking, I would have my stainless steel water bottle with me. I would smack that bear upside the face with that steel water bottle. And
so hard.
So hard. And if I didn't have anything on hand,
binos, let's be real.
Right,
like, there's
right,
a chance
you're right,
that if
both.
you and I are hiking, we're going to have
both.
Binos on us.
One of the two. Just
let's go.
Smash it in the muzzle. And if I didn't have anything, I'd still just punch it in the nose.
Yeah.
But you go for the nose and the muzzle until that bear leaves you alone.
Yeah.
And I saw some pictures of a guy who has been attacked, like he does like bear denning studies, and he's been smacked by a bear multiple times, I think. And he's like, it's not true that, like, at least for a black bear, that it could kill with one blow.
Yeah.
Their claws are meant for climbing, not for disemboweling. So, like, he had, like...
Not a toe knife, like a cassowary toe knife.
Totally. Or maybe even aardvark claws, I don't know.
Yeah, right?
But he just had, like, big welts on his side from it. But, yeah, so...
Man, that would be pretty badass to walk around, though, with the...
Oh, yeah.
Listen, if I had got hit on the, like, in the torso by bear claws and I had scars to prove it, I would just wear a bathing suit all the time, just so people could be like...
I was just thinking I might
What happened? I'm a badass.
I might even be more extreme and fake in that, like, if I did get smacked by a bear and all it was going to do was leave welts, is that I would either, like... make it scars, like by like scratching,
Can you come back and hit it just a little bit harder? Thank you.
Or just tattoo over it,
right,
over the welts, so that they're like, this is what it looked like when it happened. Like,
that would be so funny.
So that was my final animal. I think I could take them all on. Some of them I would get seriously injured, but I would end those fights. Even if I didn't end the animal, I would end the fight.
I'll end the animal for you, apparently.
Yeah.
All right, so I have one more and then an honorable mention that I'm honestly also shocked that you did not pick. All right, so my last actual animal was another one of my sons, a camel.
My gosh. That one is, you're right, that one is as scary as okay.
Listen, so...
this one I have my doubts about.
Listen. All right. He really wants me to fight a camel. Like, this was the one that he was the most adamant on. So much so, I was trying to drop him off at school, and he was delaying the car drop-off lane because he was so adamant on he needed to finish his explanation of how I was going to, like, beat up a camel. All right. So I asked him which type of camel, and he said it doesn't matter which one I would fight. I'd fight them the same. I feel like I should be worried about him, but he explained these fights so logically. It's not like there was any aggression to it. It was more like because he loves wild kratts and pretty much any other animal show, clearly he's put thought into this.
Yeah, as most kids do.
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
I don't think
it's
it's
us
unhealthy.
most kids do.
Maybe, yeah.
I think we're weird, Laura. So camels are herbivores, which originated in North America, being the size of about a rabbit, then spread out all over the world from there.
So cute.
Right?
That's the size a camel should have stayed.
Yeah, right? I wish. Way cuter. They are currently found in Northern Asia and Africa. Humans have relied on camels for a long time and quickly domesticated them, giving people not only transportation and good carrying, but dairy and meat as well. So how would I fight it? Well, according to Lucas, I need to throat chop it.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, throat chop a camel.
It would be the only way to take it down, because I'm telling you, this is my only one that I don't think you could do it.
I don't think so either, but Luke was very convinced.
Yeah. Only because, like, a young I firmly believe you could throat chop and take on a baby camel.
Oh.
Which is awful.
Or the ancient rabbit-sized camels.
But I have seen those big adult males.
Dude, no freaking
stomp
way.
you into the ground. Like,
immediately.
They can fit your head in their mouth.
My mouth, yes.
Yeah.
But I promised him I would include it because he could tell the speculation on my face of like, and he's like, no, Mom, throat chop it. And then he just kept going like, hiya? Like,
Yeah.
And I was like, every time he kept saying this, I was like, oh my gosh, he's my kid though. Like, he is so my kid.
Yeah.
So anyway, because he's so deadpan about it when he says this stuff, I have to take him seriously.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Because he means it, yeah.
Because he totally thinks, and he has, it's a little bit of pride because he has such faith that his mom could beat up a camel.
A 5-foot-tall woman take on like a big old...
By throat chopping it. But also...
You're like a ninja.
Side note, did you know that camel wrestling is a thing?
No.
Okay. Even though it's a natural behavior, the Turks have turned it into a sport. So they each get a male camel, and it's like a whole festival, like a whole tournament, a whole big shindig. They each get a male camel and like dress it all up into like all these garbs and everything like that.
I'm imagining like the what do they call the wrestlers with the...
Oh yeah. The like Nacho Libre.
Yeah.
So they're all completely dressed up, and they each have a male, and then they walk a female camel in heat between them. And then apparently to the male camels, they're like, oh, it is on. And they start to grind their teeth and foam at the mouth.
Yes,
Then they start beating the crap out of each other using their necks and try to take out each other's legs.
Like a giraffe.
Yeah, so instinctively they know to take out the other camel's legs.
So what you should be doing is just kicking them in the knees.
Which I still don't think would be effective whatsoever.
No way.
So... but this again though, grinding the teeth, foaming at the mouth, that's another animal mating ritual that I'm so glad that humans didn't pick up.
Oh,
because
dude, it's disgusting. It is maybe one of the grossest things I've ever seen, because they also take their lips and they go blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
it is like puke, gross.
So yeah, nasty. Glad if a human man didn't grind his teeth so hard that he started to foam
and then made his lips all blubbery and just.
So gross.
So gross.
All right, so back to camels. All right, so the first camel to take out to make the other camel fall over is the winner, and then it's like a bracket, and then
how do they stop the camels from fighting? Or the camels just give up as soon as one's down?
Yeah, they know, because like instinctively in the wild, this is the same way they do it. Like whoever's the one to take out the other one and make them fall to the ground in the wild, boom, that's the one that gets the female. Call it. Yeah, they just know. And so, yeah, to them, in their minds, because a female in heat just walked through.
Fight.
But, okay. Side note. Wouldn't that suck, though, as the male camel? Okay, so the female...
You get nothing from it.
You get nothing from it. Like, what the heck?
And it was a legitimate fight. Yeah.
And,
talk about sexually frustrated.
You don't even get the prize at the end. Anyway. All right. So, how would I fight a camel? There's no way you can take out its legs. Luke's idea was to throat chop it. I so love his confidence in his mom. But I just don't think other than jumping on its back and just riding it off into the sunset.
It's a weapon. That would be the only way to take on a camel.
I don't know what else I would do. Alrighty, so one honorable mention though, I didn't go too much into detail because I surely thought you would pick this one, that if we legitimately had to fight, and I'm not talking like survival fight, but just like beat the crap out of an animal, I really thought that you would pick an alpaca or a llama.
Yeah.
And you didn't, because you hate them.
Yeah, but like I know what they're capable of, man. Those alpacas, they've got like razor sharp hooves.
But wouldn't you just want to punch it for the sake of punching one?
I feel like I can't say that. I work with animals. So.
To save Laura from her job, she can't say it right now. What movie is that from? The Dodge, Duck, Dip, Dive, Dodge?
Yeah,
Dodgeball, yeah. Dodge, Duck, Dip, Dive, Dodge.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, alpacas, yeah.
They're nasty creatures. Alpacas, llamas.
The camel, they're all in the same family.
They are. Which is what made me think about it. As I was doing the camel, and then I was like, wait, there's no way Laura wouldn't pick one of these just for the sake of getting the fight one.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That's our Could You Fight That episode. Again, disclaimer, we don't actually want to fight these animals. It's survival.
Huge disclaimer. We don't actually mean anything we just said.
It's just for fun. Just like, could you ride that? We're not encouraging you. Yeah, we're not encouraging you to go fight these animals, just as we didn't encourage you to go ride any animals.
Right.
These are just things that weird animal people talk about. Could you ride it? Could you fight it? Could you be it?
We're really just elementary school boys talking about, who would win in a fight.
Stupid crap.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, join us next week, guys. We've got more episodes coming.
See everyone next week.